People are still debating whether or not the Earth is flat because of the cosmology described in the Bible. The question isn't, does the Bible teach a flat Earth or a globe? The better question is, what was God trying to reveal through these passages? The Bible often uses the ancient world's incorrect belief systems of the universe to share a much deeper message. For example, Genesis was written to reveal who Yahweh is in his glory, power, and sovereignty by confronting the false beliefs of the surrounding nations, not to settle debates about ancient cosmology. Within the creation account, God claps back, if you will, at the nations. The nations said many gods created the world through conflict, but Genesis declares that one God creates effortlessly by speaking. The nations worshipped the sun, moon, and stars as gods, but Genesis presents them as mere lights created to serve humanity and mark seasons. The nations feared the sea as a chaotic divine force, but Genesis shows that the waters obey Yahweh without resistance. The nations viewed sea monsters as rival deities, but Genesis says they are simply creatures God made. The nations believed humans existed to serve the gods, but Genesis reveals that humans are made in God's image to represent his rule on earth. The nations taught that only kings bore the image of the gods, but Genesis declares that every man and woman bears the image of God, giving all people royal dignity. The nations credited fertility gods with life and abundance, but Genesis shows that fruitfulness comes from Yahweh's blessing alone. The nations treated nature itself as divine, but Genesis insists that everything in nature is creation, not creator. The nations believed the gods rested because they were weary, but Genesis portrays God's Sabbath rest as his taking his place as king over his completed cosmic temple. The message of creation narrative is not, here is the correct scientific model of the universe. Its message is far greater. Everything the nations worshipped, the sun, moon, stars, sea, monsters, fertility, and even kings, is not God. Yahweh alone is the creator, king, and sustainer of all things. Creation exists to point to him,